One thing is very clear as we dive into Dexter: resurrection. Episode 5. Dexter is walking into a world more terrifying than anything he's faced before. We're talking about a secret society filled not just with dangerous people, but with other killers who might be just as calculating and twisted as he is. That invitation Ronald had in episode 3, it wasn't just to any party. It was a trapdoor into a hidden world of predators, each with their own method, motive, and madness. And now, Dexter is stepping through that very same door. As we saw in episode 4, the gathering wasn't some ordinary cocktail event. It was a dark congregation, masked and anonymous, where every smile hides a secret and every handshake might be a setup. The chilling part is that Dexter doesn't know who he's truly dealing with. Are these people admirers of his legacy, or vultures circling for their next kill? Or worse, is he being sized up for some kind of twisted recruitment or ritual elimination? The rules in this shadow circle are unspoken, and breaking them could be fatal. And then there's Peter Dinklage. Yes, the buzz is growing louder. Fans are speculating that he might be playing a high-ranking figure within this killer syndicate, a cold, methodical manipulator who already knows Dexter's identity and history. If that's true, then Dexter isn't infiltrating. He's already being watched. Dinklage's character might not just be an adversary. He could be the one orchestrating this entire deadly game from the shadows. Meanwhile, Harrison's storyline is getting even more intense. In the last episode, his alibi barely saved him from a serious accusation, but things are starting to unravel fast. Claudette has her eyes wide open now, and she's piecing things together. The more Harrison tries to act normal, the more suspicious he looks. Dexter might be focusing on his own dangerous mission, but his son is stumbling in real time, emotionally, mentally, and now maybe even legally. There are whispers that Harrison may have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, and now Claudette is quietly gathering evidence. Is she just a protective authority figure, or does she have a deeper connection to Dexter's past? Her calm exterior is hiding something big. Every move she makes seems calculated. Every time she talks to Harrison, it feels like she's baiting him. Could it be that she knows more than she's letting on? Is Claudette actually trying to expose Harrison as a way to get to Dexter? Or even worse, has she already connected the dots between father and son? With all this chaos brewing, Dexter is trying to manage two fronts, one inside a secret society of serial killers and another back home where his son's future is slipping through his fingers. There's also a wild fan theory now suggesting that Harrison might be unknowingly manipulated by the same group that invited Ronald. Could Harrison be a target? Or a pawn? While Dexter is hunting shadows, is his son already tangled in the web? One thing is certain, the tension is building, and Dexter can't afford a single misstep. But here's the chilling cliffhanger. When Dexter finally comes face to face with the masked leaders of this killer society, will he recognize one of them from his past? Someone he thought was long dead? The second the masked figure stepped into the dim light at that secret gathering, Dexter felt something, an old, familiar chill crawl up his spine. He didn't flinch, but his mind raced. Something in the posture, the slow tilt of the head, the way the voice echoed ever so faintly under the mask. It all felt like a ghost reaching out from a buried chapter of his own past. Could it really be someone he believed was long gone? Maybe an adversary from the Bay Harbor butcher days, or one of those rare survivors who once slipped through his code? Meanwhile, the other attendees didn't seem surprised. That's what scared him more. These weren't just random psychos. They were organized, practiced, disciplined. They weren't just here to party. They were studying each other, sizing up new threats, and maybe even preparing a twisted hunt. Dexter played it cool, scanning every inch of the room, mentally cataloging each movement, each potential escape, each set of eyes peeking through those cold, expressionless masks. But something felt wrong. This wasn't a party Dexter could just sneak away from. Once you're inside this world, the only way out might be a body bag. Then came the envelope, sealed in black wax, handed to Dexter in silence. Inside it, not a threat, but an invitation, a challenge, a test. A target. Was it a job? A trap? A rite of passage? The instructions were cryptic, but the implication was clear. Prove yourself or be eliminated. And here's where the paranoia set in. Was this society just curious about him, or were they trying to turn him into a weapon? Could they be manipulating him to do their dirty work under the guise of acceptance? That's when the twist deepened. As Dexter began decoding the instructions, he realized something sinister. The name of the target they wanted him to eliminate. Claudette. The very woman who's watching his son like a hawk. The very woman who may be closer to uncovering the truth about Harrison than anyone else. Now the lines are blurring dangerously. Is Claudette just a problem that needs solving? Or is she genuinely a threat? Is she corrupt? Has she wronged someone in this shadow circle? Or are they using Dexter's own proximity to her to test whether he'll compromise his moral code? If Dexter kills Claudette, he sends a message. He's one of them. But if he spares her, will they come after him and Harrison both? Back home, Harrison's situation is deteriorating. The more Dexter is distracted, the more vulnerable Harrison becomes. His friends are turning cold, the school counselor is growing wary, and Claudette, ever calm and polite, is suddenly asking strange questions. She mentioned things she shouldn't know, about blood, about behavior patterns, about childhood trauma. Did she dig into Dexter's files? Did she find old police reports from Miami? And the wildest part? She's made a call. To someone. An old contact from Florida law enforcement. There's a chance she's reaching out to people who were part of the original Bay Harbor Butcher investigation. If that's true, then everything Dexter built, the faked death, the new identity, the safe life, is hanging by a thread. And just when it couldn't get more tangled, new clues start surfacing about Peter Dinklage's character. We haven't seen his face yet, not clearly, but there are hints now that he's not just a member of the Killer Society, but a founder, a mastermind. And he might already know exactly who Dexter is, right down to the kill count. Some fans are even theorizing that Dinklage's character could be a long-lost protege of Harry, Dexter's adoptive father. Imagine that. A man trained in a twisted version of the code, one who thinks Dexter abandoned the mission and now wants to bring him back, or destroy him for betraying it. The more you think about it, the darker it gets. But here's the cliffhanger. If Dexter refuses to kill Claudette and she exposes his identity before he can escape, will Harrison be taken from him forever? Dexter is now standing on a knife's edge, caught between the looming threat of a secret society that has just handed him a kill order and the fragile, rapidly crumbling life he's trying to protect back home. The black envelope burns in his pocket like a ticking bomb. Its target, Claudette, is no ordinary name. She's deeply embedded in Harrison's world. She's seen things no one else has noticed. And worst of all, she's starting to ask the kinds of questions that only end in blood. Dexter has spent years living by a code, separating monsters from the innocent, making sure his darkness only touched those who truly deserved it. But now this group, this deranged collective of killers, is testing that very foundation. They're watching him, evaluating whether he still has the instinct to obey or whether he's grown weak. And somewhere behind all this, Peter Dinklage's character is orchestrating every step with a cold, calculating brilliance. Though he remains in the shadows, whispers of his influence echo through the masked gathering. He's not just a member, he's their philosopher, their judge, their executioner. If this group is a cult, then he's the high priest of death. And here's where it gets even more disturbing. He knows about Dexter's code. He knows about Harry. He knows about Deborah. He even references the Bay Harbor Butcher without fear. Either he's bluffing, or he has files, recordings, maybe even a survivor from Dexter's past. Someone who saw too much but stayed silent. Someone who's ready to speak now. Meanwhile, Harrison is spinning out. His behavior at school is erratic. He's skipping classes. His journal, which used to be filled with scattered thoughts and poetry, is now showing signs of something darker. Sketches of knives, spirals, blacked-out pages. Claudette has already seen parts of it, but she hasn't confronted him yet. She's waiting, watching, and that's what makes her so dangerous. She's not acting out of panic or emotion. She's deliberate. She's holding on to her evidence until the exact moment when she can destroy Dexter's world with it. The Society's test isn't just about whether Dexter will kill again, it's about whether he'll kill her. They've woven his son into the test, made Harrison the bait, the justification, the emotional leverage. If Dexter kills Claudette, he might save his son for now. But if he doesn't, the Society might decide that Harrison is too much of a liability and handle it themselves. And Dexter knows how these people work. They don't leave trails. They don't issue warnings. If they see a loose end, they cut it, clean and final. The paranoia is spreading. Dexter is sleeping less, watching every mirror, tracing every sound. He's even started noticing new faces in town. People at coffee shops who never order, strangers at Harrison's school who seem out of place. Is the Society already here? Have they sent people to monitor Claudette? To shadow Harrison? Or worse, are they giving Dexter a chance to act before they do? But what if this whole thing is a setup? What if Claudette is part of the Society herself? What if she planted the evidence, the surveillance, the emotional traps, all as part of the test? Could Peter Dinklage's character be using her as a puppet to twist Dexter's mind, to break him completely and rebuild him as a servant of the Society's code instead of Harry's? The psychological warfare is relentless. Dexter is trying to hold on to his instincts, but everything he knows is being flipped upside down. He can't trust Claudette, he can't trust Harrison, and now maybe he can't even trust his own code. That envelope didn't just mark a target, it opened a door into a reality where Dexter is no longer the predator, but the prey. And just as he starts to plan his next move, another letter arrives. No envelope this time, just a card on his doorstep, blood-red ink, with one message: fail the test, and we finish what you started. But what exactly did Dexter start? And who are they referring to as the unfinished business? Could it be Deborah? Could it be someone from Miami Metro? Or is the target not Claudette at all, but Harrison himself? As Dexter clutches the latest message in his blood-stained hands, he realizes with a cold certainty this was never about Claudette. It was never just about one target, one test, one moral crossroads. No, this was always about him. About whether the Bay Harbor butcher could still be bent, broken, controlled. The Killer Society didn't invite him as an outsider. They didn't recruit him out of admiration. They brought him in as a symbol of power, of legend, of unfinished legacy. Peter Dinklage's character, now revealed through flashbacks and cryptic clues to be named Adrian Voss, is far more than a villain. He's a scholar of death, a collector of killers, and a firm believer that Dexter Morgan was never meant to retire. Voss believes that Dexter is the failed messiah of a new order. He sees the Code of Harry not as a moral guide, but as a cage, a weakness, a primitive restraint. And now, he wants Dexter to renounce it, completely. But Dexter's world is unraveling too quickly to even process the philosophy behind this madness. Harrison is slipping beyond his reach. After another school incident, this time involving a classmate's injury during a suspicious confrontation, he's been suspended indefinitely. Claudette is no longer just watching. She's acting. She files a formal report, but instead of giving it to local authorities, she mails it, strangely, to a P.O. box in Florida. Miami, to be exact. A chilling detail Dexter only discovers after covertly tracking her movements and finding the envelope she never meant him to see. The addressee? Date: Angela Bishop. A name that brings back haunting memories. Angela, the woman who once uncovered Dexter's true identity, who once held him at gunpoint, who nearly brought his world crashing down before fate intervened. If Claudette's reaching out to Angela, then the past is no longer buried, it's knocking at the door. And while Dexter scrambles to understand how far this conspiracy stretches, the Society tightens its grip. Another invitation arrives, this one not for Dexter, but for Harrison. An anonymous text, an address, a time, a whisper of a scholarship opportunity. Harrison, desperate for direction and approval, considers going, unaware that it leads straight into the jaws of the society's grooming arm. Adrian Voss isn't just building an army of killers, he's cultivating legacies. And who better to inherit Dexter's place than the son born of darkness? Harrison, still wrestling with guilt, rage, confusion, he is exactly the kind of mind Voss knows how to manipulate. The message isn't just to Dexter anymore. It's a threat and a temptation rolled into one. You won't kill Claudette? Fine. Then we'll raise your son in your place. The episode's tension reaches unbearable levels when Dexter breaks into Claudette's house late at night, torn between duty and survival. He doesn't want to kill her, but he knows she holds the thread that, if pulled, could unravel everything. Yet just as he raises the needle, prepared to sedate her, she turns. She's awake, calm, waiting. "They got to you too, didn't they?" she says, her voice cold, measured. "You think I'm just some teacher watching your son, but I've been investigating this group for 6 years. I thought Ronald was my ticket in, but I was wrong. It's your son they want now." This changes everything. Claudette isn't an enemy. She's an informant, an independent investigator chasing the same shadows as Dexter, but through different means. She knows about the society, she knows about Voss, and she knows that if they can't bend Dexter, they'll break Harrison. Together, they piece together a horrifying truth. Voss has been recruiting killers since before Dexter faked his death. He's been watching, waiting, collecting data. Every unsolved murder that bore signs of Dexter's precision, the clean cuts, the blood patterns, the disappearances, he archived them, mapped them, reverse-engineered the profile. Voss didn't just find Dexter by chance, he rebuilt him. He used Ronald as a lure. He infiltrated communities where Dexter might reappear. And now that the bait has worked, he's ready to launch something far bigger than a single kill. He wants Dexter to become the face of their movement, a figurehead of the new order. And Harrison? He's meant to be the heir. Back in town, strange things begin happening. Harrison goes missing for a full day. No texts, no calls. When he returns, he doesn't speak. He just hands Dexter a phone, one that isn't his. On it, a video. Harrison, blindfolded, being questioned by men off camera. They ask about his nightmares, about blood, about his father. And then, in a distorted voice, Adrian Voss speaks. "Every legend must pass the torch. Will your son carry it willingly, or shall we take it by force?" Dexter watches in horror as the video ends with coordinates, a location, a deadline, no cops, no tricks, just one demand: choose your legacy. This is where episode 5 explodes into emotional chaos. Dexter faces the ultimate decision: uphold Harry's code and destroy this network from the outside, risking his son's future and safety, or step into the darkness fully, become the monster they believe he is, and protect Harrison by embracing the very evil he once controlled. Claudette, now aligned with Dexter, prepares to go with him. She has files, names, maps. She knows there's a location, an abandoned psychiatric facility miles out in the woods that the society has used before. That's where the meeting will happen. That's where Harrison's fate will be sealed. And that's where Adrian Voss will finally reveal himself. As Dexter gears up for what could be the final confrontation, we see a glimpse into his mind, memories of Deborah, of Harry, of all the blood he's spilled, all the lines he's crossed. The voiceover is raw, reflective, remorseful, but also determined. "I thought I could control the darkness. I thought I could put it away, build a life. But maybe darkness isn't something you bury. Maybe it's something you pass on, or stop once and for all." The screen cuts to black just as Dexter and Claudette arrive at the facility gates, the wind howling, the forest dead silent. No guards, no cameras, just the sound of an old door creaking open, and a child's voice inside whispering, "Dad?" The question now hangs like a guillotine. When Dexter finally meets Adrian Voss face to face and sees what they've done to Harrison, will he be able to save his son, or will he have to destroy him? And that's where episode 5 leaves us, on a cliff so chilling it shakes the foundations of everything Dexter has built. A secret society of killers. a son teetering on the edge of manipulation, a mastermind pulling the strings from the shadows. And Dexter, no longer the hunter, no longer the protector, but a man forced to decide whether to burn down everything or become the fire himself. The stakes have never been higher, and the shadows have never been darker. Episode 6 promises to be nothing short of explosive. So what do you think? Is Harrison already lost? Is Claudette really trustworthy? And when Dexter finally comes face to face with Adrian Voss, will it be redemption? Or complete surrender to the darkness? Let us know your theories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because if Episode 5 was the spark, Episode 6 is going to be the firestorm.